Alrighty. Let me put my phone over here so I can see some comments as they appear. I think we should be good. Everything looks good. Got Mr. Frankenstein here. We'll wait a few minutes for people to get tuned in. As they appear. There we go. Yeah, we're looking good. Got enough light there. I think we're okay. Plug the glue gun in. Ooh. We'll get started here in a few minutes. Alright. This will be a pretty fun build. It's not a difficult build. Let me get my other set. Those are the ones I created for the Frankenstein set. And we'll build a new set tonight. I did a few things to save a little time. On this one here, on these here, I just used a piece of the pink foam that I normally use and created, they were a 1 inch by 1 inch by 12 inch piece. And let me get a scrap piece over here so you guys can see. They're just a piece like this. 1 by 1 by 12 is what I used. And really, if you want, you could make these 1.5 or 1 1/4. As long as they were a squared piece, it would look right. 2 by 2, whatever. Quickly talk about the columns though. These columns here on the original build were just concrete with pieces torn out, and I painted those with a paint by AK Terrains for making asphalt. And what it is it's super it's super black, man. Look at that. And it dries really hard. I mean, it's a really cool product, and it's called Asphalt by AK Terrains. And it's used for making black asphalt roadways, but I found that you can use it on walls and things like that too for creating some really great textures. But this is a good, I'll try to remember to link this in the description of the live feed once we're done. But it's really a good product for texture and things like that. So what I did, like I say, I didn't want to, during the live stream, create another set of pillars just like those. So I created these stone pillars this time. And these are really easy to make. Like I say, out of a 1 inch by 1 inch piece of foam, I just go in here with a wood burning tool and I create, all the different, I draw on with a pencil first, kind of a basic idea of what I'm after. And then as I'm going through with the wood burning tool, I, go ahead and modify it a little bit as I go. But then I just dry brush it, I solid cover it in black Mod Podge, and then I go ahead and dry brush it and create some stones. So I just wanted to create a little something different tonight instead of the same types of towers or pillars that I did in the first set that I built. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to use these rascals, and these are pretty nice looking, man. I mean, these are nice. And if you choose to build something like this, I mean, you can scale it how you want or make the columns whatever size you want. I'm just going to make a set tonight, you know, that's going to suit my needs. But you'll see it's really pretty simple. And I'll talk about the balsa wood real quick. Balsa wood is, anymore, it seems like it's tough to find because of the whole ocean container conundrum that we're in. But here's some various sizes that I have, and you know, and these pieces, I'm telling you, these pieces here were a little over $3 a piece. Balsa wood is not cheap anymore either. But that being said, I'm going to move these out of the way, and I'm going to keep this. And yeah, it's just, it used to be something I could just go right to Michael's and pick up. Now Michael said they discontinued it because they can't keep it in stock, so I went to Joann Fabrics, who happened to have it, but they had sizes that were a little different than I wanted. But at any rate, the other thing is you can buy this on Amazon, but sometimes the measurements on Amazon or the photos are a little off or a little tough to decipher. I mean, the one I'm using, I'll tell you what I'm using tonight, and this is scaled for, you know, a NECA figure, you know, 7.5 inches or so tall. So this here, and I'm going to use inches, about 1/40 of an inch wide by 1/20 of an inch thick, and so that's, and I'm gonna cut that into 5 pieces, but that's good for the flat iron piece of the fence there. And the round dowel, you know, I think these are about 3 millimeter. Well, no, let me give you inches. These are almost an 1/16 of an inch. It says 0.14, so almost a 1/16 of an inch, which is, I don't know, like 4 millimeters or something. But anyway, as long as you're right in there when you order it on Amazon or whatever, you know, you should be fine. But sometimes I like to be able to just go into a store and see what I want to buy. You know what I mean? Some things Amazon is great for. Other things I want to go into the store and be able to actually touch it and feel it and buy it. You know what I mean? So what I've got here is a piece of wood, and I've measured over 5.5 inches. I'm going to do 2 panels, so I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of the flat. And you don't have to use these measurements. These are the ones that are working for what I want to do in the lenses that I use and stuff. So 5.5 inches. So I'll cut these. Let me grab a little piece of working wood over here so I don't cut my mat. And I use one of these rascals here, and I'll tell you, these things are sharp. How do I know? Because I've cut my stinking hand with them before. They are no joke. But at any rate, let's make some space here. Put old Franco over there. So I'm going to begin, firstly, I'm just going to begin by cutting this excess off the end. And this is a great tool right here. Really sharp and really nice for being able to cut, you know, balsa wood. So we'll cut that little end off. If it's a little loud, I have my 3D printer going in the back, so it shouldn't be too bad though. So we're going to cut these 5.5 inch piece. This is going to be enough to make 2 gates. So there's 1. And I already have them marked out just to save time on the live stream, so you guys don't get too bored. Okay. And right up in the middle here. And we're not building a house, so it doesn't have to be entirely perfecto. Okay, so what I'll do now is I just want to get these ends a little bit even. I just drag it across a little piece of sandpaper. Just to get those. And you can even knock the corners down and stuff if you want. There's another step that I do where I go through with a wire brush and a Dremel, and I just sort of create some textures and rough up the pieces of wood really good with that. But that's at a later step. Right now I just want to kind of get these ends looking halfway decent that I cut. There we go. You just don't want splinters. No real super technical skill involved in this build. Thankfully, that way I could do it. You know. There we go. Alright. Looking good. Looking good. Last piece. And this balsa wood, like I say, used to be, I just go right down to Michael's and get it, and Michael's discontinued it, they told me. And it definitely used to be less expensive. I pay, like I say, you can go in now and spend $30 on a few pieces of stinking balsa wood. It's ridiculous. But what choice do you have? You know, I mean, it's $3.40 something for that one strip of wood. It's pretty crazy. So here we have 4 pieces of wood. Let me knock the dust off this sandpaper. So here we have 4 pieces of wood. Really, these are going to be our tops and bottoms of the gate. And if you notice, I kind of have, I'm going to show you here, I kind of did this on, like I say, on the scale of Frankenstein, because that's what most of my neck figures tend to be, his height. And I come up with a measurement of 6.5 inches, which high. And so if we go down here and we look at good old Franco from foot to 6.5 inches up, it's about his shoulder. Okay, so about his shoulder is 6.5 inches. So, and if we come up off the ground just a little bit, because the gates aren't going to swing on the ground, you know, that's going to put us right about 7 inches. Is going to, you know, going to be good. So anyway, 6.5 inches is what we want, and that's what I wrote down. And so when we cut our, I've got marks in here for the wooden dowel, and the reason the 6.5 inches, or that measurement I told you, is important is because when we cut this wooden dowel, wherever I put it, here it is, we need to cut 2 pieces 1 inch longer. If you notice here, these are much longer in the center, and then they taper down. So we want to do the same thing on the wooden dowel. We want to, if we know it's going to be 6.5 inch, you know, opening on the gate, I want to add 1 inch to that. So what we're going to do is, excuse me, grab a marker, and we will do 7.5 on this first one. We'll do 2 at 7.5 because we have 2 gates. So there's 7.5, and then oh man, what's going on, man? And we'll do another one at 7.5. That's 6.5. We want 7.5. Let me make sure I did 7.5 on the first one and not 6.5. Yeah, no, that's 6.5. There's my dog in the back. She's saving the world. So we're going to cut this one 7.5. There we go, and then we'll cut the next one at 7.5. And then I just go down like a 1/2 inch from there. The center one has to be the highest one. Okay, so here's 2 at 7.5, right? Maybe. Did I mess that one up? Let's see. No, that's 7.5. Well, what's this first one? Oh, it's 8.5. Dope! Let me take an inch off. See, don't listen to me. Let's take an inch off of this rascal. Right there. See? Can't even measure right. Let's take that off. I knew something looked a little cattywampus. That's a technical term. So let's cut that. There we go. Get that out of the way. So we've got 2 at 7.5. And we're going to do a total of, if you look on, well, I don't have the marks lined out in here, but we're going to do 5 across. So we're going to do 2 at 7.5. Then we'll do 2 at 7. Okay, there's 1 at 7. And then we'll make another mark. Okay, I will make a mark at 7 there. We'll cut those. That'll give us 2 more. And you can make these however short or tall you want. This is just for the way I'm building mine here. I like the big tall cemetery gates. Okay, so those are 7. So then let me grab another piece of dowel. So we did 7.5. We don't want the sticker side. That sticker's a pain in the butt. So we did 7.5. We did 7, and we'll do 6.75. Gonna need 2 of these pieces each. There we go. All right. Okay, so we have the center posts, we have the next tallest posts, and the next tallest posts. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So then we're going to go down. We just did, my memory's terrible. We just did 6.75. So we'll go down to 6.5 on this next one. If anybody's watching, I'll try to look at the comments and see. at 675 right there, and another at 675. There we go. Alright. Suppose you could probably cut the wooden dowel with a scissor or something. Or a sawzall. If you want to have a good time, cut it with a sawzall. I'm just playing, don't try to cut it with a sawzall. Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And for the last one, do a couple little shorties. We'll do like 6 1/8 or 6 2/8, whatever suits you. So we'll do 6 2/8. There we go. And I'll cut another piece here, and then we'll be done cutting these, and we'll drill some holes. And if you want to see a video on how I did the stone columns, let me know. I'm just showing you the gates on here, but where'd that other piece of? I'm just showing you the gates on here, but if you want to see how I did the, I might got a couple different size dowels. No, we're good. If you want to see how I did the stone columns, like I said, I can do a video on that for you. It's really pretty easy. It does it is kind of boring, but definitely worth the time. It doesn't take long. It's just not a very exciting process. So there we go. Okay, let's move this stuff out of the way. And my tape measure. Alright, throw this stuff out. So, alright. So what we want to do now is I'm going to mark out 5 spots on these wooden flat pieces of wood. So we're going to start with, okay, on these flat pieces of wood, and you see I've got a center mark here. So I think, and you can just eyeball this, it doesn't have to be precise, but as long as you know where the center is, and I divided, I just did the math in finding the center. So we can do 1, let's go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and that's fine. You don't have to measure each hole out. That would seem like that would be a bit of a challenge, unless you're that technical. So then what I do is I just get a drill bit that's going to give me this diameter of the dowel that I have, and drill these little rascals. And I put 2 on top of each other, and I put a piece of wood underneath, and that way I don't drill down into my table. It's going to be kind of loud for a second. You don't have to go deep. We don't want to split the balsa wood. Make sure you hold it. Just go slow. We're not in a big rush. You could do this with a Dremel and a drill bit also. I do have that attachment, but Okay, last. Let's come in a little bit because the fence, the gate post is going to be there. So we'll come in just a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I've got a little block here that I use. We'll just clean these holes up just a little bit. And that didn't quite go all the way through on that one. There. Okay. So we'll poke a dowel in there and make sure that we're snug. You just don't want the hole really super big and the dowel a lot skinnier, because then you're going to have all this wobble and play and stuff in there, and it's not going to really be that fun when it's time to glue it. Okay, so just pushing a little dowel through there will kind of clean everything out, make sure it's good. It's good to go. There we go. Okay, good on that. Easy enough. All right. Let's clean these. When you go to spray paint this, if you have these little bits where the wood has kind of splintered a little bit, it's going to spray paint terrible. So save yourself some headache and clean that off real quick. There you go. Otherwise it won't spray paint. It'll look like wood. You'll see the little wood fibers and you won't be that happy with it. Okay, so we're good there. We're going to do the same thing on the other ones. Let me just line up real quick. What we're going to do on here and set this to the side so that I don't get all my dowels and everything mixed up and confused. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side, and then we'll, I don't know if they, no they didn't, okay. I thought they, sometimes there's not much, you'll grab two dowels and you'll think they're the same size and they're supposed to be, but they end up being a little bit not as uniform as you would like. Okay. Slide that joker in there. It's a little bit tight. It's okay. We got her. Okay. Same thing over here. Let's see. Oh, that's got to go on the end. See, I got my dowels mixed up. It's alright. And you can do a... Last time I did a wood glue on this, but this time I'm going to do a hot glue, and what that's going to do, it's going to make it look like, once I paint it, it's going to make it look like a little weld. So it's going to be kind of cool. I put the wrong one in here. You're fired. You're fired. There's my shorty ones. See, that's what happens when you mix everything up. There we go. It's going to go in here. That way we get this nice tapered kind of descending kind of look to it. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we have one gate. Bam. Not much to it, huh? It's amazing what it can become, though. You know, if you can have a little bit of vision, you know, you have a little bit of imagination. I mean, you know what this can become. Sometimes you psych yourself out and you're like, oh no, wood's not going to look good, or this or that's not going to look good. But if you just follow through with the plan and do it, it ends up looking nice. So don't doubt yourself. Okay, don't doubt yourself. Just keep it going and it's all good. Alright, same thing here. We're going to roughly mark our 5 spots. So we've got 1, 2. We'll do 1 there and 1 there, and then we've got our center one. So we're good. No, you got to get out the caliper and you got to get the... No, you don't. You don't have to do that. Alright, let's drill these bad boys. Get them lined up best you can. And we'll start with the center hole. There we go. Put this drill away. Alright. Same thing, let's just clean this rascal up a little bit. Let me get some of this sawdust out the way. Okay. We'll just knock the exit hole of the drill bit down. Okay. All right. And we'll same thing. We'll just push our dowels through and make sure our holes are looking good, and this kind of cleans out anything that's inside the hole. Okay, we're good on that rascal. Let's do this one, same thing. Heck, we're almost done, man. I mean, it's it's really not a long project. Okay, there we go. We're good on that. Let's put this away. I don't want a bunch of sawdust flying around. Okay? Don't you go being that way, Franco. Put these rascals back here. Okay? I just don't want a bunch of sawdust flying around while I do other stuff. There we go. Alright. So, same thing, we're just going to go ahead and begin with our center dowel. And since I've mixed them all up, let's find the one that is the longest. And it looks like it's this one. Okay. Shove that bad boy in there. There we go. And this one in here. Okay. Then we've got the next longest is They're all roughly similar, of course. Why wouldn't they be? Goes this one here. There we go. Same thing. This one here. And you don't have to do the little tapered way that I did it, where I cut one long in the middle and one, and you know, and the other one's shorter and shorter. I think it looks good, and so that's why, you know, it's, by all means, it's how you want to build it. Okay. I actually think, there we go. Let me see. Let me see something here. I think this one actually goes here. Yeah, this one goes here. Knucklehead. Guess it doesn't matter because you could always pull it up or slide it down further in the hole. So, there we go. That goes like that. Okay, and then these two should, no, be the same length. Dun, dun, dun. One day I'm gonna learn how to build stuff. When there's not that much difference between them in size. You get mixed up. There we go. Yep, that goes. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Slide that inside there if it wants to. If it wants to go, it wants to be a little bit of a rebel. There we go. Okay. And don't worry if you don't see a lot hanging out the top right now, because we got to slide the gates down to the right height anyway. We're just dry fitting all this and making sure it's going to fit in here and everything looks good. So, okay. If only making a fence in real life was this easy, right? So, anyway. Okay, we've basically got 2 panels. I'm going to take my sweater off because it is getting hot in here. Basically got 2 panels there, and making good progress. Next thing we want to be able to do is, I'm going to, where's my Sharpie? We're going to make sure that these two, this is only 6.5 high. That way when I go to glue these, they're the, you know, the right height for Frankenstein, and the bar isn't going to be like directly across his face or something. So, for example, if this comes up a little bit off the ground, you know, the bar isn't, he's got a bum leg. I bought this on Amazon and his leg is busted, so I had to hot glue it. So he's a little bit, he's got that rigor mortis going. So if we're a little bit off the ground, see, it doesn't cover, the bar doesn't cover his face, so we're good. So let's measure from top 6 inches, there we go, and then same thing here, 6 inches. We're looking good on that one. This one can actually come down some. Slide down a little bit, but we'll do that when we go to glue it, so not a big deal. So, and we're going to glue them right now, so we're going to take, now that I know which ones go where, we'll get everything lined up, and then I'm going to make a mark so that when I go to glue these and slide them back in, I know exactly how far down they should go. There we go. That rascal on the end looks a little long. We'll trim him up. Or let's see. Yeah, actually, I don't know if that's. That looks like that's a little off. Let's take a look. Yeah. Let's see. down here. Okay. 6, and this one here is, yeah, it's got to come down. See, we're off on the end. This part's important because you want to keep the measurement right across the piece. So that's why I'm measuring it, and then I'll mark it with the Sharpie. So there we are. We're at 6 there, and we're at 6 there. We're good with that. So that's perfect. So what I'll do is then I'll just go ahead and we'll mark this with the Sharpie. That way I know when I put these back in that this is how far down I need to slide the wood. There we go. And you won't see that anyway later once we spray paint it, so it'll be alright. Okay. I don't want to mix them up this time. I'll put one on one side and one on the other. There we go. And I start with the middle one. And I've got the hot glue. Like I say, I wood glued the last ones, but we're gonna hot glue these. Okay, because it's gonna give a little bit better look. So let's bring this old hot. Let me move these and bring this old hot glue down over here. It's already heated up. See, I think about some things in advance. All right, let's put a little bit of glue inside there. And a little bit on the bottom one in the middle. There we go. And we'll slide this in and down to the mark. There we go. Same thing on this end. We don't have to slide this down to any mark because it just has to go flat in there, that's all. Okay, little hot glue stringies. So we're good there. All right, on to the next one. Easy as pie. This glue says it gives you 45 seconds of working time, so I guess that's good. Okay. Put a little glue in the bottom down here. But this is a pretty easy build. I mean, this doesn't... And cemetery gates are an awesome thing to add to any diorama that you have. I mean, it's... Especially when you know you can knock out a pair of the little gates like this in no time, you know. Go get flat on there, and there we go. Okay. There's my hot glue gun not pushing the glue. There we go. Everything wants to give me a little bit of a headache. Okay. I don't want to drench my piece in hot glue. Whoops, like that right there. It's alright. Sometimes it happens. Okay. Try not to hot glue your hand to the wood. There we go. Okay. A few little strings on this, but no big deal. Make sure that dries before I put anything on it. You can just knock that off once it's dry, it just rolls off. Same thing here, it'll just peel off. Okay, there we go. Alright, on to the next piece. Kind of weird the hot glue gun is. Well, I guess we got some through there that time. It's like giving me it's giving me grief. There we go. The one thing about the hot glue, it dries fast, but it really does get you these little strings on here. Okay. Okay. Knock that extra stuff off the bottom. There we go. Okay. We're good with that. One down. We'll set that rascal there. Alright, on to the next one. Let me move these because they're just going to continue to be a headache. Alright, so we got that one done. Let's do this one. Where's our marked side? Oh, we didn't mark this side yet. So let's mark these. Make sure we get them right. Okay, this could 6 inches. This can go up just a little. Okay, let's see what we look like here. Just about right. A little bit more. Okay. Drag this down. Alright, we're good on 6 inches there, and we're good on 6 inches there. So let me go ahead and mark these. I don't really need to mark the bottom ones, but at the rate I'm going tonight, I might as well, right? There we go. There we go. Push those rascals. Let me double check I'm still at 6 inches. Something moved on me. I'm just going to be right there. Let's take a look one more time. Yeah, 6 inches there. And we're need to go a little wider on this end. That might do it right there. Something got, yeah, that'll work. Something got switched on me. All right. Now, I think on this one, I will just put a little glue around the base here. Make my life easier. I used wood glue last time and it was easier. This time I decided, well, I'll use hot glue. It'll dry quickly and it'll look like a weld seam, and it will, but you really got to slide your dowel in the hole fast, and it makes a bit of a headache. So we're just going to dab some on the outside here and it'll be just fine. It's not going anywhere. These dowels are in there good and tight anyhow, so it's not like they're going to just slide out. And once you spray paint this, like I say, it's going to look like some little weld seams. There we go. Golden. Alright. So we've got two nice and flat pieces that will be the gates. Move this out of the way. Next thing we want to do is we need to create the posts or the hinges that these swing on. See how everything lines up right there? I could cut this a little bit more if I wanted, so that it would come closer, but it's not really that big a deal. Nobody's, I mean, you're never even going to know. So what we'll do is, I need to measure inside, or actually, let's see, might be better. There we go, yeah. So, we're going to measure and put a piece of wood inside here, and this is going to need to be pretty. So right here we're at 5 and about 5 3/4, 5 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 and 5/8. So to be safe, what I'll do, and I've got a little piece of square dowel here, we'll do 5 3/4, and then I'll sand it down to the until it fits into that slot. So we'll do 5 3/4, and then we'll sand it down. Okay. Five and 3/4 right there, and then we'll sand it until it gets like a nice snug little fit in there. Find my sandpaper. There we go. Of course, I had to pick the piece that has the the store label on it, right? Yeah. Boy, that label's on there good, I'll tell you that. There we go. Okay. Just knock both these edges down. Both of these ends. I think we're just about good on this end. And let's take a look here and see how poor a job I did. Okay. Let me measure this. Should be 5 3/4. Yes, it is. So we'll need to trim a little bit here. See which way we line up. There we go, like that. So we'll cut a little bit more off. Oh, here it goes. Okay. We're working on this side right here. So let's sand. let me drop that behind the cabinet. I tell you, some days it's not on your side. Okay, so let's just sand this down just a little bit and it'll fit right inside here. We don't want it really, really tight, and we don't want it really, really loose. We want it, this has to rotate on here. So just about there. Just about. Cut about 1/16 of an inch off of this rascal. Yeah, right there. There we go. I think we'll be good now. That'll work. We'll tighten this up, or square this end of it up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Just make double sure we're on the right side. Okay, and that'll go in there. Okay, that'll work. Just check one thing. Okay. All right. So, and I'll just take me a little marker and mark right about in the center, because I'm going to drill a hole in the top and bottom with the Dremel attachment. Let me mark my other one, cut my other one so that I only have to get the Dremel out one time. See, we're right there. I think we're good. This one I got a little cuckoo with it, but we're still just about right. Okay, we'll mark a hole. The top and bottom of this should actually sand that a little bit. It's kind of rough. Let me just give it a quick little scuff with the sandpaper. Because when you go to paint it, if you have these little broken bits of ends, they're not gonna, it's gonna look like wood. The whole idea is you kind of want it to look like metal, so there we go. Okay, let's get out my Dremel. And you don't have to have a Dremel for this, but As long as you have a cordless drill or something that you can put a little teeny tiny little drill bit in there, that's what you're going to want to do. You might be able to do it with a wood burning tip. You might be able to do it with a screw. Put the screw in and then back the screw back out. Kind of create a little pocket like that. And it's going to get loud for a quick minute, but we're just going to create a hole for where I put the metal for the hinge. See if I can do this without poking myself. Okay. Right there. You don't have to go fast, just slow setting, and you do want kind of a deep enough pocket though. I have the Dremel on low. There we go. So we got a nice little pocket in there for the hinge to fit in. Same thing on this side. Okay. Okay. We're going to leave this out because I'm still going to need to put a hole in the top of the fence. So we'll just set this right here. We're still keep in mind that we're going to need to do that. So let me get my two columns out over here. I don't know that I want to attach these on here yet because on the live feed, because these still need to be spray painted and I don't want spray paint to get on these. So what we'll do, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll kind of mock it up. And that way I can paint these without getting spray paint on the styrofoam, because the styrofoam does not take the spray paint. Not styrofoam, but the XPS foam doesn't take the spray paint. It will eat that smooth up. Okay, cool. We're looking good. Looking good. And all I'm going to use for the hinge on these is I've got some wire here. You can use a paper clip. You can use whatever kind of wire you think is going to get you a good hinge. And you know, I mean, we probably want, you can always trim it, but just break a little piece off. Boy, need new snippers. Straighten this up best we can. There we go. Look good. And let me take this up. I'll just show you how this just goes right down in that hole. See, and it creates a hinge. It will spin on this. Okay, well, whatever sawdust is in there will loosen the hole up a little bit. There we go. There we are. All right. Good stuff. So we're going to need 4 pieces like this. It's okay if you cut them long, because you can just trim them as you shove it all the way down in there, you can just trim the excess out the top. It's not a big deal. Okay. Like that one. I got a little crazy with that one. It's a little long. It's alright. It'll work out. We're not building a house. Okay. Alright. So, what I would normally do is set up my posts where... Oh, 3D printer's done, yay. Did my prints come out? Oh, they did. I got some wheelchair prints going right now. Some wheels that I designed for a wheelchair. Oh, it's going to be cool, man. I can't wait. So, back to what I was saying. These are the same height. So, if we were to come up off the bottom of the pillar, you know, about 1 inch, we could glue the gates there. They could actually go up a little bit higher too, but you don't want to cover the figure's face with it really. But normally I would glue, I would paint these, spray paint these, and then I would glue this, and then I would put them on there after the spray paint dried. I don't want to glue these on here now and then spray paint it, because it'll ruin the styrofoam. Let me put the hinge together and then kind of mock it up for you and show you, and then you can spray paint you know, how you think you would want it, and I'll tell you how I spray paint mine. But anyway, let's get these rascals in here. We're going to drill a hole in the top of these. Right in there. And same thing over here. You could actually put this in and then drill the hole all the way so that your hinges and everything lines up in there. But I wasn't thinking, but it doesn't matter. It's going to line up. Like I say, we're not building a house, so it's going to line up. There we go. One thing to make sure of is, see the clearance in there? You want to make sure you leave enough clearance so as this rotates around that this won't hit the post, and that it will spin all the way so that it's not like obstructed. See how it spins right there and it doesn't hit the post? That's what you want. So if this is too short, you won't have that gap there at the end, and you won't be able to open the gate without it getting stuck on itself. So that's important. Also, let me get out the Dremel one more time. I'd like to be able to paint these and mount these up tonight for you guys, but I think you get the idea. Okay. Same thing, I'm just going to start on low. Maybe. That's what I get. One more time. It's hard because the gates are a little bit... There we go. Don't drill into your cord. That would not be wise. You need to do the top and the bottom. Okay. bad boy away. I could always mount these and airbrush them or acrylic paint them, but the spray paint looks so much better. So I don't want to waste the opportunity to spray paint these, because they will just look so much better. Get the right one for the right gate. There we go. Okay. Cool. We'll put the pieces of wire that I knocked down inside here. There we go. And we'll just get the little pliers and we'll push that wire down into there as far as it'll go. The longer you can make that, the deeper you can make that little pocket, the better. It's okay. This piece is a little crooked, little cattywampus. Let me straighten it up. There we go. There we go, and that just slides in there. And we've got a hinge, okay? Ding, 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 little hinge, okay? And the trick on this is you glue the top on this one, and then on this one, you glue the bottom. And so anyway, that's how you do that. Then you can trim this later, but don't glue the wood. Only glue the wire, because your gate won't open. So that would be a bad. Well, it'd be a learning experience. But same thing. We'll just slide that hinge into there. Nice deep pocket there that I created. And same thing over here. And we'll okay, so we got a hinge on this one. Okay, and then the last step, which, like I say, I'm not going to really be able to do, is you would glue these to your beams with hot glue or tacky glue. If you use hot glue and you're doing it on styrofoam, make sure you don't melt the styrofoam. What I like to do is I put the glue on here, and then I squeegee it off with a piece of wood or a plastic card or something, and then I put it right on. That way it doesn't push out a bunch of glue from the sides, and it makes a nice seal. But that's what we're looking like. And if you want, and which I probably will, I'll trim this piece just a little bit in so that we get these to line up. But honestly, when you put these on your diorama, nobody's going to know if that lines up or not. But for me, I'm going to trim that because it's going to bug me. But at any rate, so this is what we've got with the gates. And I'm going to tell you how I spray paint this real quick. I spray paint it first with it's a rust colored brown. I coat that real good with that. It's a primer and paint all in one. And I coat that and I let it dry 20 minutes or whatever. Then I'll hit it with a black. Just a real dusting of black. I'll hold the pieces far away from the spray paint, and I'll let the black just fall over a nice mist all around it. You don't want to cover it in black because you want the brown base to show through. Then after that, I might take a little bit of the hammered silver color that I have and another light dusting of that even further away than I did the black, and just let it fall on in random spots. You don't have to hit the whole wood, but just random spots. And then I'll do one final quick little dust of black again, just to knock the silver color back. And what that does, let me get my gates. And what that does is it creates the layers and the depth in there, so that all the colors show through, from the brown to the silver, but the silver's not too silver, to the black, you know, it all shines through, because you're just dusting it with the paint, holding it far away and letting it just fall softly onto the wood. Now these skulls here, I just happen to have these. You can use beads. They had holes in them, and that's what these are. These were Halloween decorations that you would put on strings, and they happen to magically fit perfectly the whole size of the dowel, and so they made a perfect top. Alternatively, you can sand these to points if you want. However you might want to just leave them like that. But yeah, you know, here we are. We've got a set of gates, and this wood, you know, it took us probably an hour to do. If you want a video on how I did these, let me know. I'll get one of those made for you. I'll post the pictures of these tomorrow so you can see how they're finished and how I actually painted them. So look in the community section of that for the actual finished set of gates. And in the meantime, if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. I appreciate the people that are watching and interacting with me, and I really enjoy doing these videos, and you know, all the people that ask me questions and things like that, I really appreciate it. Follow me on all the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. My website, insightfulimagery.com. You can check out my toy photography gallery also. And you can also check out some really cool 3D props that I make. I design, I print and paint and sell, so that you can save yourself some time when you want to photograph really cool sets. You could just put some props right in there, man. So anyway, you folks have a great night. I'm going to get on down the road, and I think there's some Panda Express inside waiting for me. And I'm going to go